Hello, this is Rakesh Rao from DesignSense Software Technologies, the BricsCAD sales and support point for India. In this BricsCAD video, I'm going to show you how QUAD and Rollover tip works in BricsCAD. The QUAD and Rollover tips are available in the status bar here at the bottom near the right hand corner, and you can see them notated as QUAD and RT. So let us see how these work. So for now I'm going to click on RT and I've switched off rollover tips. So I've just kept QUAD on. So when you bring your cursor on any entity, you can see that a menu opens up, and that is called as a QUAD menu. So this is how the QUAD menu looks like. It has got several options like edit, modify, draw, select, and so on. So the QUAD menu is context sensitive. For example, if you click on a text, then the menu you get is different from what you get when you click on a polyline. So let us use one of the QUAD commands. For example, I go to modify and I'm going to choose this option called copy, and I'm going to copy this polyline and place it here. So this is a simple copy command which you already know, but I have executed it from the QUAD. So once again, when you go on the polyline, you can see that the copy is now offered by default. So you can go on copying multiple polylines because the assumption is that you may want to repeat the same type of editing operation again and again. So let's bring the QUAD on the text and we go to modify, and so you can see the options here. The first is manipulate. This brings up the BricsCAD manipulator. Then you have the delete, then you have copy, then you have move, then you have copy, mirror, and so on. So all the options that you know in CAD are available from the QUAD menu itself. Now the QUAD is customizable. For example, if I right click here, you can see different options available for the QUAD. You can bring up the QUAD on the hover or on select or on right click. So depending on how you want, you can choose and use the QUAD. There are further settings available in the settings option here. So if you click on that, the settings opens up, and here you can see that there are some options which are very important and useful. So you can see the width of the QUAD. You can customize the space used by the QUAD, and you can also define how many recent items should be shown. There's also something called as QUAD show delay, which is very important. So it specifies how many milliseconds to wait before the QUAD is shown when highlighting a subentity. So 100 is the default, which means after a delay of 100 milliseconds or 0.1 seconds, the QUAD will appear. So if you don't like the QUAD to appear immediately when you bring your mouse on the entity, you can set this to a high value. Say for example, I'm going to set this to 2000, which means after I bring my cursor on the entity, only after 2 seconds the QUAD will come up. So let us try that. So I placed it here, and you can see after 2 seconds the QUAD menu came up. Once again I put it here, and after 2 seconds the QUAD menu has come up. So the QUAD is fully customizable. It is very useful, but at the same time some people may or may not like it. It may be interfering in the way they work. So it is completely up to you to configure and use the QUAD the way you like. So that's about the QUAD. Now let's move on to RT or rollover tips. So the RT option is available just next to the QUAD. So I'm going to switch off QUAD and I'm going to switch on RT. At first looks, the RT or rollover tips may look like a mini QUAD. It gives you certain basic options here like color, layer, and height for a text. So you can go and change the color right away here itself. I change this color to red. I can also change the layer. For example, I can change it to field band, and also I can change the height. I'm going to make it 24. So you can see that just by hovering on the text object, I have changed 3 of its properties right here. Similarly, if I hover on the polyline, it gives me the color and layer options which I can change in the similar manner. So in some ways, the rollover tip also gives you some basic properties changing option like the QUAD, but the QUAD is much more advanced and it is unique to BricsCAD. Rollover tips is probably something you are already familiar from other CAD also. So that is how rollover tips and quad works. So even for rollover tips, you can go to customize, and this is going to open the customize interface. Now the customize interface is a little involved, but it is not difficult. But you can control your properties completely by going to the rollover tips customization option here. So I suggest that you don't do it on the first day that you are learning rollover tips, but once you are familiar with it, you can always go and customize the rollover tips as well. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.